Unfortunately, aging is associated with decreasing brain function, which happens because you start losing brain cells and then your brain starts to shrink. As a result, you get symptoms like worsening memory, reduced cognitive function, as well as a greater susceptibility in neurodegenerative diseases like dementia or Alzheimer's. But how can this downwards trajectory be avoided? For the solution to these problems, most of the research points to neurogenesis, which is essentially the growth of new neurons. Neurogenesis is usually triggered when you're stimulating your brain, like when you're socializing or solving a puzzle. It can also be triggered when you have adequate sleep and a very healthy diet. However, one of the most important contributors to brain health is exercise. But how does that work? Well, I'm glad you asked. So when you exercise, your heart pumps more blood through your body so that your muscles can get the oxygen and nutrients essential for them to function. Now, there's also increased blood flow to your brain so that your brain cells get oxygen and these essential chemicals. And one of these chemicals is called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, and it's important for the growth, maintenance, and survival of your neurons. BDNF is especially important in a brain region called the hippocampus, which is essential for memory and learning. BDNF levels decline with age, which might be the reason why you lose your memory and cognitive abilities. However, exercise has been proven to increase your BDNF levels and thus improve your brain function. This has been proven in a bunch of studies where mice and humans were subject to exercise programs over a long term. And in virtually all these studies, BDNF levels increased after the exercise programs. And with the increase in BDNF levels, the brain function increased as well. As a result, the participants in the studies, both mice and people, had a better memory, better thinking, less stress, better emotional responses, and even improved rehabilitation after stroke. In one human study, the participants were 70-year-old adults. After only 35 minutes of exercise, the participants' BDNF levels skyrocketed, and because of that increase, they performed significantly better on memory tasks performed after the exercise. And what's interesting is that when participants were subject to mental and cognitive training, they didn't have such significant of an increase in BDNF levels and brain function, which just proves how effective exercise is in maintaining your brain health. However, the key is consistency. You have to keep on exercising over long periods of time to get the optimal results. A few workout sessions here or there won't do a lot, but if you exercise for months or even years, your brain will thank you. And it doesn't even have to be a big commitment. For example, as little as 3 hours per week for 12 weeks in middle-aged adults can result in a significant increase in blood flow to your brain, thus increasing the supply of oxygen and chemicals like BDNF to your brain cells. And that means there's no excuse for you to be skipping out on exercise. The brain is probably the most complex organ in the human body, and because of that complexity, it needs to be maintained. One of the best ways to maintain your brain is exercise, and if you exercise regularly, then it will have a profound effect on your health. All it takes is some regular commitment, and you'll be sharpening up your brain function, and your brain and body will thank you. So what are you waiting for? Get off YouTube and go outside, get some exercise.